special guest with me. I have Manny Matos from DUSA. We met actually a couple years ago, but virtually.
That's right.
You were in the Dominican Republic, and I was at the Microsoft office here in New York.
It was so exciting at the time. We were doing DUSA, which stands for Dominicanos USA, right? We were doing our gaming immersive fair. And we had a venue at Microsoft in New York. And I don't remember exactly where I was, but I was either in Santiago or in Santo Domingo.
It was insane.
It
Yeah,
was,
we,
it
we
was.
had. That's the whole joys of what we're doing here. Is like you're making those international reaches, and even though we weren't physically meeting, we were doing amazing things. And what you were doing down in the Dominican Republic was like literally, can I say, game changing?
Oh wow, that's really good. Yeah, no, game changing. It is. You know that all started from a vision we had back in 2019, looking for ways to effectively communicate or bring peoples together from their native country and the United States. Right. This is the land of immigrants. And a place like the Dominican Republic now has second, third, fourth generation Dominican Americans who have no ties to the Dominican Republic. And we found that there are things that can benefit both sides from coming together, making a connection. And gaming was the thing that's bringing the people together. So it's really amazing.
You kind of hit the nail on the head. I always say this: 92% of all youth consider themselves to be gamers. What else can you do that brings in that much common
Yeah.
excitement or
That's it.
anything,
That's it.
right?
That's it.
And then to even say that we're doing it not just here in America, and not, yes, we're here in New York City. I say the epicenter because that's where I'm from.
Right.
But it's really, how does this become an international reach, and what can we do? And an event like this is a perfect example of how do we actually take it from New York and actually bring it international, and starting in the Dominican
Right,
Republic.
international. And it's also what we're trying to do with it, right? I think initially when we started with this, and you've been at this a lot longer than I have. I'm an attorney in private practice and stuff, or in my real life, and so I wasn't into it day to day, but it was immediately apparent to me that this was an effective application, a way to make a meaningful connection with people, and then also do it in a way that respects the space and the environment. Right? Like you just don't throw gaming to do gaming, but it's kind of gaming to show your love for people in this space, and then introducing resources and opportunities to gamers as they show up, but in a way that's not really hitting them over the head with, textbooks or civics. As we do, we specialize in civics. So,
Yep.
but we found that you really can't approach them that. One, you demonstrate the respect by setting up the environment that respects their tastes and their likes and that sort of thing. And then we find that people are much more open and amenable to the sorts of things that are important to us. Like how do you become integrated more fully as someone who comes from an immigrant family?
Yes.
So like, how do we help their families integrate socially, civically, economically? And we found that gamers are an excellent portal into families and communities, and they are so proud to go home with something like a gift of,
Yes.
hey, we can help you, with your naturalization, with jobs and things like that, whatever other resources that we can connect them to. And then the international piece, which is the part that you got involved with.
Well, I think you talked about things that I think are so important. It's not just about the game, right? It's creating community. It's creating opportunities through connection. And yes, we can use games to start the conversation, but then we can continue the conversation beyond, right? And I think that's really one of the most important things that I think my job is really making those connections and understanding like what this generation needs and where we're going to. And things like this that we can actually start here in New York, making these connections, and then really looking at that international piece of it.
Yeah, and it all starts with the gamers. I feel disqualified because of the gray sometimes, right? But I think we're able to win people over when you show that you care for their experiences, And for us, these initial immersive fairs was, in a certain way, uh, a way in which to tell gamers that we understand that the world they're trying to create and that they would like. And it really is the gray area or the older people. I'm sorry, Laurie, I'm not going to drag you into that population, but you definitely don't belong on my level as far as age is concerned. But if you demonstrate that respect for them by the environments that you create, and then in our case, we did these immersive fairs as a way to introduce anyone over 35 about the possibilities here. And then to connect with the National Esports Association represents, and I'll speak for Dominican Americans here, right? Like such an immense opportunity for us to bring particular expertise, the intersectionality between gaming and education, and these other resources that we mentioned. Like I saw that 2 years ago as wow, this can really, like, to get your validation on this. Honestly, Laurie, like,
it was my privilege. I mean, what you're doing really is, it's like I said earlier, game changing. And to make those connections about what we talked about, esports and education and beyond, and really changing the borders, right? Like, and making it so that there aren't any anymore, and that these conversations exist on levels that can bring it to where it needs to be.
Right.
And working together, that's how we're going to actually change the world.
Well, Laurie, I have to tell you on a personal level, I know it's noisy here for us in the background. I think the microphone can pick up our conversations just fine. But when we first met, we had a pre-call. I don't expect you to remember the details, but that was such an important call for me personally, because during that call, I asked you, I said, Laurie, you're an expert in this area. Are we on the right track? Is this something that, considering the kind of the stakeholders that we were able to pull together, are we on the right track? Is this as special as it feels to me? And it was your reaction to that really fueled my energy and a whole organization behind getting behind this project and really looking at it and committing to it. So we owe you a debt of gratitude. I know we just reconnected at this conference, but you are had you at that moment said, oh, I don't know, Manny, I may have given up on it, but you had such a genuine reaction to this, and you said, wow, Manny, like I didn't have a point of contrast, and it was your assessment of it that really made us focus to the level where I've spoken to the president of the Dominican Republic about this, the Minister of Education, obviously stakeholders in the United States, and it was your recognition of kind of the path that we were on as being the right one that put a special kind of love and emphasis on this, that we are on the right track. So I can't wait to see what us coming together will do. I think we've done enough by way of pilots.
Yep.
Where there's enough kind of meat on the bones, where stakeholders in the system surrounding this whole gaming and education piece can now come in with confidence.
Well, I think we've actually seen over the years is there's a lot of people on the periphery, right? And they want to get involved. And it's like, this is how we can actually change things. It's like getting rid of the silos and working collaboratively on initiatives and understanding the value of esports and education here locally in New York and beyond. And it's worked with your organizations that really help amplify what I'm doing at the National Esports Association, because we're working in tandem and we're working together. So stay tuned for more things we're going to be doing and with Manny, and this is actually how we change the world.
Yeah.
So I love it. We'll see what's going to happen next.
Laurie, before we sign off, I don't know how much time you have for this, but I know in some discussions you indicated an interest on the international part of it. Like this is something you want to do. And this is something that I hope we explore together. And I think the time is right to do it. So I'm extending now an open invitation. Let's go together.
You know I'm going. I'm going to be there. You tell me when. I'm on the plane and we're going down to the Dominican Republic and we're going to bring this stuff there. That's how we change the world. I love it. So it's great. I'm going to hold you to that.
I'm going to hold you to it.
And I'm going to be there.
All right. Awesome.
Okay.